Prologue, The Unstoppable Horde. The Crixian war horde's conquest of the Andromeda Reach had become the stuff of nightmares. Across 7 star systems, their war chant *Carax Vihul. Carax Vihul. *, blood and victory. Echoed through the ruins of fallen civilizations. High Chieftain Vorgath the Unbroken stood atop the smoldering ruins of Zenari Prime, his 4 arms raised in triumph. The once glorious spires of the Zenari's crystalline cities now lay shattered beneath his armored boots. His second-in-command, Warlord Grax, approached, his breathing apparatus hissing. The Concord fleets are retreating, my chieftain. The last of their warriors have fallen. Vorgath's triple set of eyes gleamed with predatory satisfaction. Good. Now we turn our gaze to the Orion Arm. There are softer targets there. Grax hesitated. The Orion Arm is under the protection of a new species. The humans. Vorgath laughed, the sound like grinding boulders. Humans. Fragile, pink-skinned weaklings. They will break like all the others. He should have known better. Book 1, The Call to Arms. Chapter 1, The Transmission. Deep within the Sol system, the United Earth Defense Network intercepted a distress signal. The message was fragmented, desperate. This is Grand Minister Talus of the Velnari Concord. The Crixians have destroyed our outer colonies. They are coming for Earth next. We beg for your aid. Admiral Naomi Carter, commander of Earth's first orbital fleet, watched the accompanying footage with growing horror. The Crixians were monsters 8 feet tall, with exoskeletons that deflected plasma fire, and a brutality that made her stomach turn. She turned to her second-in-command, Colonel Elias Mercer. Get me the President. Now. Chapter 2, The Devil's Brigade. The call for volunteers went out across the Terran Alliance. They came from the worst hellholes humanity had to offer. Captain Eric Draven, a cybernetically enhanced Spec Ops killer from the Titan Black Ops Division. Sergeant Maya Reaper Vasquez, a former assassin for the Martian Cardinals, with more confirmed kills than any living soldier. Lieutenant Kieran Holt, a pit fighter from the series Underworld who had clawed his way out of the gutters with his fists. Dr. Elise Park, a biowarfare specialist who had turned Ebola into a targeted weapon. And then there was Gunnery Sergeant Marcus Riker. The man was a legend. The only soldier in history to receive the Triple Skull, an honor given to those who survived 3 suicide missions. When the Velnari liaison, Ambassador Silas, saw them, he paled. These are your best warriors? They're smaller than I expected. Riker grinned, cracking his knuckles. Yeah. We hear that a lot. Chapter 3, Baptism by Fire, The Battle of Seraph Station. The Crixians hit Seraph Station like a meteor storm. Their drop pods smashed through the orbital defenses, disgorging hundreds of warriors. The Concord Defenders' elite Zenari Blade Masters were slaughtered within minutes. Then the humans arrived. Draven moved like a ghost, his cybernetic reflexes letting him dodge Crixian strikes before putting a round between their eyes. Vasquez slit throats in the dark, her monomolecular blades parting armor like wet paper. And Riker? He walked straight into the heart of the Crixian formation. The first warrior swung at him a blow that could crush his Zenari's skull. Riker caught the fist mid-air. And squeezed. Bone cracked. The Crixian screamed. Riker headbutted him so hard his helmet caved in. The others charged. By the time reinforcements arrived, Riker was standing atop a pile of broken Crixian warriors, breathing hard, grinning like a madman. Silas stared in shock. How? Riker wiped blood from his face. You said they were tough. Book 2, The Tide Turns. Chapter 4, The Crixians' First Retreat. For the first time in living memory, the Crixians retreated. High Chieftain Vorgath was furious. You lost to humans. Warlord Grax trembled. They fight like demons, my chieftain. They do not fear us. Vorgath snarled. Then we send the Bloodborne. Chapter 5, The Bloodborne Hunt. The Bloodborne were the Crixian elite genetically enhanced killers with reflexes faster than thought. They were sent to assassinate the human leaders. They failed. Vasquez gutted the first in an alleyway, her vibroblade finding the weak point in his armor. Holt broke the second's spine over his knee. Draven outmaneuvered the third, putting a bullet through his skull before he could react. The last Bloodborne found Riker waiting for him. The fight lasted 17 seconds. When it was over, Riker stood holding the Bloodborne's severed head. He tossed it at the feet of a captured Crixian scout. Take this back to your chief. Tell him we're coming. Book 3, The Fall of the Unbroken. Chapter 6, The Final Stand. Vorgath assembled his entire horde for one last battle. The humans were outnumbered 10-1. They didn't care. The battle raged for hours. Plasma fire lit up the sky. Crixian war cries shook the ground. But the humans would not break. Riker fought his way through the entire Crixian line, his armor shattered, his body bleeding from a dozen wounds. And then he stood before Vorgath himself. The Crixian chieftain laughed. You are just a man. I am Vorgath the Unbroken. Riker spat blood. Yet. Let's fix that. The fight was brutal. Vorgath was stronger. Faster. But Riker was angry. When the dust settled, Riker stood over Vorgath's broken body, the chieftain's own axe buried in his chest. The remaining Crixians stared in horror. Then they ran. Epilogue, A New Era. The war was over. The Crixian horde, once the most feared force in the galaxy, had been broken. The Concord celebrated the humans as heroes. Riker just shrugged. We've fought worse. As the humans boarded their ships to return home, the galaxy watched in stunned silence. For centuries, the Crixians had been the ultimate warriors. Now, there was a new name to fear. Humans.